What's going on, everyone? Today is March 6th, 2024. Today is your midweek review. Hope you have had an insightful week in the market so far. We're going to go over the news that has happened so far this week and what is going to happen for the rest of the week. Obviously, on Tuesday, we had 10 a.m. ISM Services PMI, and then on Wednesday, today at 8:15, we had non-farm employment change, ADP, and then we had Powell testifying at 10 and a JOLTS job openings at 10 as well. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. we have unemployment claims. At 10 a.m. we have Powell testifying again, and then at 11:30 you have a FOMC member speaking also. On Friday you have obviously NFP at 8:30, which is that non-farm employment change, and then you also have average hourly earnings on top of that, and then you have unemployment rate as well. So we've had a lot of news. So far this week, we'll continue to have a lot of news going into the back half of the week. So just keep that in mind. Be cautious when you're navigating throughout the markets. Probably better to be a student and not necessarily a participant going into the rest of the week. As we get into these seek and destroy templates, it becomes a lot more of a low probability trading scenario. Other than that, I will go ahead and get into the chart on dollar. Alrighty. So on dollar, we are now still pushing away from this SIBI in here, this monthly SIBI. You can see how in February we respected the consequent encroachment of it, and then now in March we've respected the low end of it, delivering off of it. Candle closure has respected that. I've got these two monthly highs in here as well, marked out. On a weekly, we have now shown a willingness to trade away from this weekly BISI that we were kind of watching. So for the most part, I'd be looking to see if price wants to utilize this equilibrium in here, right? In and around this equilibrium to draw towards the discount of this low to this high. And then if we want to get a little overextended also, we could go into this BISI, but not really worried about the BISI right now. Still worried about only just drawing back into the equilibrium of this range. Obviously, just like highs and lows, we can use equilibriums of ranges to establish a potential draw. So the way we've so far reacted in and around this BISI this week, I would like to see price at least draw back down into the equilibrium. That's kind of where I'm favoring so far this week. On a daily time frame, I would be utilizing previous day's low as we continue to go into Thursday and then Friday, and then you can also utilize previous week's low as well. So you've got this previous week's low also. So if you wanted to add this, you could utilize that as a previous week's low. Right, and price might want to push back up into that on a daily time frame, and then continue working lower, right? And you can see that lines up with the equilibrium is this liquidity void right here and the sell side right here. So I'd be looking as this low as sell side, and then I'd be looking for price to trade back into this liquidity void in here, and then reestablish some form of discount from this low to this high. So really that's about it. Still could go either way. We haven't necessarily seen too much displacement, but you are starting to see some SIBIs formed on the 4 hours, so I would like to see those potentially respect. We are delivering down into this candle, so keep that in mind as well, but I am aiming for the sell side and this low to be potentially tagged. Other than that, that's it for me.
All right. We're going to indices now. So I'll take a look at ES and NASDAQ together. Just like the dollar's kind of in a point of consolidation for the most part right now, indices are also at a point where we could go either direction. From a very high time frame perspective, from the monthly and weekly chart, we're still operating under bullish order flow. So the general expectation is for indices to continue going higher, but we do have areas of inefficiency below that we could see a potential return into as well. So starting with ES, noting the buy side above, and then just noting this area of inefficiency here below. So not a fair value up yet because we have to wait for this candle to close, but we do have inefficiency in here, given that we've only had the buy side trade and not the sell side yet. So just be aware of this area below as an area that could be re-delivered on the sell side if we do have a retracement in the later part of March or into April. Same thing with NASDAQ. It's a bit smaller as we did trade a little bit deeper on Tuesday this week, but we do still have inefficiency between January's high and March's current low. Okay. Drop down into a weekly chart on the both of these, and you can see how we've been respecting the down close candle, the bullish order block that we've been talking about here on ES and here on NASDAQ. Both of those bullish order blocks being traded back into on Tuesday of this current week. Here on ES just trading into the high, and then on NASDAQ trading a bit deeper down into the mean threshold of it, the midpoint of that bullish order block right there. And looking at both indices on the weekly time frames, as long as we don't see weekly closure below the mean threshold of the down close candle here on ES and here on NASDAQ, so that's the midpoint of each of those down close candles, then the expectation is that we can continue trading toward higher prices. Okay, so still operating within the bullish order flow as long as we're seeing respect for discount arrays. Right, as we drop down into the daily time frame here and on NASDAQ as well, you can see that from a daily perspective, while we are still bullish from the weekly perspective, on the daily we have to sit at a little bit more of a neutral bias, especially as we go into the news events later in the week, including NFP on Friday. So we've just been trading between a discount array, being this reclaimed BISI right here, and then this BISI above, which we traded and closed through on Thursday. So now treating that as a premium array. So we're trading between a discount and a premium array, which means we can just work inside consolidation. Same thing here on NASDAQ. The discount array down here being this reclaimed BISI, and then this BISI above, which was closed through on Thursday, treating that as a premium array. And you can see today we traded right up into the consequent encroachment, the midpoint, and then came back off down into the range from there. So we're trading between discount and premium and just consolidating for the most part. So as we get into the later part of the week and going into next week, what you want to look for is go down into your 4-hour and 1-hour time frames and see if we continue to see displacement to the upside, in which case we can continue working with the higher time frame order flow and trade toward the buy side up here on ES. And on NASDAQ, trade back up into this city that's been created right here, and then into the buy side as well. If you now see new displacement form to the downside on both indices, then you have relative equal lows down here to reach for, and down here on ES as well. But remember, as long as you're seeing weekly closure above the mean threshold of that weekly order block, which is here on ES and here on NASDAQ, then we can continue expecting higher prices, okay, over a weekly perspective. Carson, any thoughts here on indices?
Nope, I'm all good. Just make sure that you know going into the back half of the week that it is low probability. It is tending to be seek and destroy. And the first week is usually just kind of like that setup week for the month too. So there will be plenty of opportunities as the market does not necessarily seem too clear right now. We will have plenty of opportunities for the rest of March to identify clear price action. Other than that, that's it for me. Just be safe.
Okay, sounds good. Well, be safe, be responsible. We'll see you at 8:45 tomorrow for morning chart and chat, and we'll have a couple other streams this week as well. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.